Glazing the inside. So with this, you want to put it on really thick, right? The little lines in the brush strokes will all blend together, so you won't even see them. But if you don't put it on thick enough, it'll be very transparent. It won't look totally filled in. And it dries fast, so that's why you want to get a nice heavy coat on your brush. Brush it around. Now if you get this stuff on your pants or anything like that, as long as you wash them, it won't stain. Because it isn't like paint where it dries and you can't get it off. So that's one coat. I'm going to do another coat. Nice and even. You want to remember where you put your last coat.
Is that brush just for the inside or can you use it for the outside too?
What's that?
Is that brush just for the inside or can you use it?
No, I'm going to use it on the outside too. The bamboo brushes are good because they can hold a lot of glaze on it. You can really lather it. I'm going to put on another coat here. Alright, now once that dries, I'm just going to flip it over. And I can either hold it in my hand or put it down on a paper towel or whatnot and glaze it like that. Or you can hold it like this and start to glaze. Okay, so notice that I'm not really going back and forth that much. I think when people first start out, they tend to brush it too much and they get too thin, and also it'll start to dry. And what happens is it starts to ball up and it gets really chalky. What you want to do is just keep coating it. This down so we can get to the very bottom here. Now what I'm doing here is just putting one coat on. Okay, this is a Celadon glaze. It just kind of turns out it's a very subtle green sheen to it. But what you can do is put on multiple layers. You can also tape off your design, paint over it, take the tape off and paint in other colors. So do a lot more with it than what I'm doing, which is one color. I'm just showing you for the demo's sake. But 2 to 3 coats. You can put bands on it of other colors, whatever you want. And notice how the rim here has glaze on it. That's okay for right now because all I'm going to do is just sponge it off afterwards. I'll show you how. Okay, so I'm really loading the glaze on. Alright, that's finished. And now I'm going to sponge off the bottom. You just take the sponge and you wipe it off along that edge. And don't worry about any kind of bristles that come off. Those will just burn out in the firing. Okay, so notice how that edge is really clean. And you also want to make sure you clean the brushes, because what happens if you don't is that you get other colors in there. You don't want to contaminate. Don't dip the brushes into other colors when they're full of other colors, because you'll contaminate them. Okay. Now if I want to like do a little subtle design on it or whatnot, I can take another glaze color and just brush on whatever I want on there. Okay. It will bleed a little bit, but it won't like disappear with it. Alright, so now what will happen here is that this will just, when it fires, it'll bleed just a little bit together, but it won't be too much. Alright, so then once I've finished that, all I'm going to do is just put it over on the rack, and then it'll get fired, and when it comes out, it'll be out on the tails. Okay? But remember, you gotta make sure this is a clean bottom. Okay? Questions? Alright, go to work.